Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode is about a single movie, and we'll talk about this episode's movie in a little bit. But of course, first, I want to invite you, yes, you, the listener, to suggest movies for our fan vote, which actually we just went through one, and we'll reveal who won at the end of this episode. So if you want to join in on the fan vote, suggest a movie, either send us an email at ff.filmfreaks with a Z at the end at gmail.com. Or comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z on YouTube, or talk in the Discord in my movie stuff section. There is where you can also suggest movies as well. We're always looking for new movies, so if you got one on your mind that you want to hear us talk about, just go ahead and do one of those three things. All right, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we introduce the movie. I am Superintendent the Ferret, and I'm here with.
The Golden Dragon Leader Tay.
And Secret Agent Kellis.
Greedy is a little late, so he will be here with his name in a little bit. But yeah, you can't use May for this movie, Tay.
I can't. I was upset. Is it even really a police story movie if there's no May?
I know, right?
So yeah, I mean, I guess we should just get started. We're itching to talk about this one. Callus, you were the one who suggested the movie. Why don't you go ahead and introduce it for us?
Sure thing, boss. So I suggested Police Story 4, also just titled The First Strike in many other regions, otherwise known as Jinjat Gutsi 4 Gandan Yammo.
Wow, very
completely
good.
Butcher that.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
I give it a thumbs up.
Cool.
Well, and
Movie-
I mean, I don't speak the language, so you may have butchered it.
Probably, most likely. So yeah, movie came out in 96, directed by Stanley Tong, written by Greg Millett, Elliot Tong, many Tongs. It stars Jackie Chan, Jackson Lu, Annie Wu, Bill Tung, some other actors there. And plot basically goes... Ooh, one second. Okay, plot is Hong Kong cop Chan Kakui, in this movie known simply as Jackie Chan, returns, working with Interpol to track down and arrest an illegal weapons dealer. So, I would like to, before we get into the conversation for this movie, I just have to ask, did we all watch the dubbed version, right?
Yes.
No one could find a subbed version. Yeah, so
No.
unfortunate. Which,
Although this one didn't seem to matter as much because there was a lot of English anyway.
yeah, I didn't notice that. And also, the good thing about this dub is that it is actually Jackie Chan's voice, voicing his own character.
He did that in the other one too.
And the previous one? Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, him and Michelle both, I think, did their own their actual voices.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's just so weird how in the previous movie they changed his name to Kevin Chen, I guess, to make it more digestible to American audiences. But for this one, they just completely dropped the police story moniker. Like, there's nowhere to be found in any advertising whatsoever, and they just changed his name to just simply Jackie Chan, which I thought it was so funny.
Jackie Chan, had a name, like everyone knew who Jackie Chan was at that point, so it was like,
yeah, which is crazy because this is only like his second American movie, I believe. His first one was Rumble in the Bronx. But it's also like, hold on, I got a question. Also, is the movie called Just First Strike or Jackie Chan's First Strike? It seems to me like Jackie Chan's is part of the title.
I think it's part of the title because, like, I had this, the first time I searched for it on my phone, I did Jackie Chan's, and it's like First Strike. It's like, okay. And then
it's
later when I went to go actually watch it, I just put First Strike, and it took forever to come up, and then it's like, oh, you mean Jackie Chan's First Strike?
Yeah. On the letterbox it just says First Strike, but on the case it says Jackie Chan's First Strike, and then if you look it up on Google it says Police Story 4 First Strike.
It's a mess.
Yeah, I think on Amazon it was just Jackie Chan's First Strike as well.
Yeah, because like when I started watching the movie, like his name, like Jackie Chan's first strike, like both, like all 4 words were like same size. So it's not like, it's like as if it was like part of the title. But anyways, enough about that.
Hey, what's the deal with this? Jackie Chan doesn't even strike first in this movie.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but he doesn't.
What's the deal with? No, I'm not gonna do that.
What's the deal with that Seinfeld impression?
But anyways, I guess we can just start in the beginning with this quote unquote simple mission that Jackie Chan goes off on, and which just quickly unravels into this entire movie's plot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the entire movie just kind of breaks down at the part where they're in like the slopes, and it's just like, and now everything's gonna go wrong.
I thought it was funny though that they're like, you need to take a holiday, enjoy Turkey or Ukraine for a while, or Ukraine, wherever he was. And then he's like, okay. And then they're like when he gets there, they're like, yeah, here's some money, go enjoy the hotel, see the sights. Your plane leaves tomorrow.
Yeah,
They give him like
That's
$2
not
billion.
really Yeah, which as we see, is not that much money.
Right.
yeah. The one thing that immediately brought me into this, like, happy with this movie is the fact that they brought back the jokes, like a bit of the comedy is back in there.
Yeah.
During the action scenes, even though the first one didn't really have anything like funny, but later on there were some scenes that they were making me chuckle. So I'm glad that they brought back the more humorous side, because Police Story 3 was just like such a just action fart.
Yeah, and the second one's also like a lot more serious than the first one.
Right.
And
So,
also,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I was gonna change the topic a little bit and talk about how much bigger the budget was in this movie compared to, like, we had mentioned how the previous movie had a big budget, or
Mhm.
it seemed that like they turned it up even more for this one.
Yeah, it's a globe-trotting adventure. They went everywhere in this one.
Yeah, exploding
did.
helicopters and all that,
Yeah.
submarines.
Submarine and animatronic sharks.
Yeah, so many animatronic sharks. That's a whole nother talking point I'll get to later.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole water rushing wasn't not cheap either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a whole set that can go underwater. Whew.
Yeah. But anyways, back to near the beginning.
Mhm.
Do you guys think that Jackie Chan would make a good James Bond?
I think he doesn't need to be James Bond. He's Jackie Chan.
Good point.
And that's the one thing that kind of bugged me about this movie is like, yeah, they kept making like, oh, look, I'm like James Bond. It's like, you don't need to be like James Bond. Just go kick some guy's ass with a table. Which
Right.
brings me to my favorite scene, which I'm guessing was probably your guys' as well. That church scene where he actually does fight with like ladders and tables and benches
Yes.
and whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah, that was the part of the movie where I was like, yes, thank you,
Right?
because we went through all of Police Story 3 with no martial arts, like, at all, and then they gave Jackie Chan this beautifully choreographed, just 5-10 minute long martial arts sequence. It was amazing. It put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
do
went
think
from
it's
fighting.
fun. Sorry, go ahead, Callus.
No, you first.
So I was just thinking it's funny how it ended though, where just suddenly the brother just pops open through a door and he's just like, he's not the killer, and then leaves. It felt like
Yeah.
it was Airplane, where like they're getting ready to fly, and he pops into the cockpit and it's like, good luck, and then leaves or whatever.
We're all counting on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. Like I said, I thought it was funny. I think they did it like intentionally to make it silly like that. I hope they did because it came off as really silly.
Yeah. It seems like it. But yeah, like that's this entire scene. Like Jackie Chan goes from fighting with chairs to a table to like some big masks to a broom and then the ladder. It's
Yeah.
like
They made up for the
his-
fact that he didn't fight with something silly in Police Story 3.
yeah, right. See, that's what it seems like too. Like they were just making up for lost time.
But
So,
the
and-
ladder fighting was the most impressive part in this
Yes.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And you can see
My-
like from the bloopers, there was like a lot of those tricks like really hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did that like same ladder trick in one of the, like either Shanghai Nights or or High High Noon or whatever, Shanghai Noon,
Shanghai Noon,
or
yeah.
either the Chris Tucker one. What is the Chris
probably
Tucker one?
Rush Hour. Yeah,
Rush Hour, yes. Yeah, he did that same trick in one of those, and like they had bloopers of it as well, and it's just like, yep, that. Like I think he broke his nose at one point on one of them.
Yeah. Well,
But
he
yeah, I
broke
ended
someone
up.
else's nose in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Actually,
ended up
he
going.
got hit in the face with the pole, which
Yeah.
might have broken his nose. I don't know.
He's
Oh
probably
yeah, he
broken
did.
his
Yeah,
nose so many times on these movies.
yeah. One of the other
Someone's
guys
microwave
accidentally
is
hit
going
him.
off.
Yep, sorry. I'm not cooking, but someone is.
You get a nice, tasty microwave burrito.
Well, it's the air fryer, actually.
Oh,
Oh, okay. There we go.
fancy.
You have redeemed yourself, sir.
Okay, good. No, but so my point, I don't know if this is like an ending talking point or now, but like watching this, like I don't feel like it's a police story movie at all. Like I mean, it's a story
Yeah.
about a police officer, but like it doesn't feel like it fits in with the other ones at all. Besides Uncle Bill's there, but it's just like that just got the same actor to play basically the same role. But he's
It's definitely a departure from the original 2 movies. Just same way that Police Story 3 is also like a huge departure with like the more gunplay and action being
for
crazy,
sure,
right?
but even 3 at least felt like it was in the same like storyline because you had May and some of those other characters. But this one it's just like I don't know, and like his name's now instead of Kevin, it's Jackie. Like they keep changing the names. Like okay, this is a different story, complete like different world.
Well, that's
I
only for
understand
this
what you mean.
market.
Yeah.
Like in Hong Kong, he's still Chan Kui. He's still the same character in
Okay. Which
in the other markets
obviously, yeah, that might
overseas.
help watching the actual version, not the English dub.
Right. But, I mean, even under like the Police Story 4 monk here, it's still the movie didn't exactly feel like a police story, but it was
Mhm.
much more grandiose, like a Mission Impossible or a James Bond. But it's Jackie
Yeah.
Chan, and I almost wonder if they were thinking like, oh, we can make First Strike into like, this could be the next Mission Impossible, First Strike 2, First Strike 3. I was almost
Mm,
wondering if they were going to do that. They were thinking of doing that.
Yeah, that's
probably.
kind of what it felt like.
But even though it was a pretty, I mean, maybe not big departure, but it was slightly, it was a departure from the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I think this was a really fun
No,
time at least.
definitely. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I just like I said, it's a good Jackie Chan movie, but it doesn't. Well, maybe not necessarily. No, it was good, but like,
It was good, but not like one of his better movies.
yeah, but like it was an enjoyable movie. It just didn't feel like it was actually a continuation of the movies we've been watching.
Yeah. It's so funny too how that the fight scene in the church is obviously probably gonna be all of our favorites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the entire movie seems like that's the least or the smallest budget possible for like the entire movie. It's like they threw no money into that entire scene. Like nothing got destroyed. There was like
Hey, no,
nothing
there was
elaborate going on.
Oh no, that was later. I will say, at least we had someone go through some glass in this,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that fight with the 2 Russian like
like the
thugs.
giants.
Yeah, I thought
The
that was
giant.
also like a pretty good scene, and that actually
Yeah, that
came
was pretty good.
before this the whole
Church.
church fight.
Yeah.
But like that moment where he was kind of like getting double crossed or whatever you want to say by the thugs, that was kind of when I was like, okay, this movie is getting good now. Like that wasn't too far into the movie. I think it was like 30 minutes into the movie that started happening.
Yeah.
But after that, I started to enjoy the movie much more, and that's when I was like, okay, I definitely like it better than the last one we watched. But is it as good as Police Story 1 and 2? I mean, I think it's kind of on the same level as 2 in my eyes.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you guys have a counterpoint, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking like, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of there with you on this one, where it's just like, yeah, it's fun, it's good, but it's definitely not as I didn't like as much as like Police Story 1 for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
it's just very different.
yeah. We'll save the ranking for the end of the podcast,
Yes,
but
yes, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat the first the first one. Um, but yeah, I just thought like this one, after because I like honest, I was indifferent about Police Story 3. Like I was right down the middle. I was like it was kind of good, but also just like kind of bland. And this one brought back that personality. Jackie Chan seemed to be more in the forefront, and well, he was more in the forefront. And he, the jokes are back, and the action was back, and even though it didn't have as big of a bombastic ending as the original Police Story and Police Story 2, I thought that the ending was at least a little bit more concrete, all things considered. Uh,
Oh, so
It
there was
still just
actually a
ended.
closure this time.
there's a little bit of closure. It still
Yeah.
ended at a weird spot, but there was a little bit of closure there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus,
this
it
is
ended on a
like
funny joke too. Like, he's like, you're going to write a quick paperwork up. He's like, quick, and then the movie ends.
yeah, but it's so weird too how usually like the most bombastic scene they leave it for like the end of the movie. Like Jackie Chan movies are usually like the the biggest scenes is usually at the end, but for
Right.
this one I felt like the beginning was just kind of a little bit bigger with the snowboarding and the helicopters and all that. I feel like there was a lot more going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get there, but yeah, once those helicopters started blowing up, I was like, "Ooh, all right."
I'm in.
And like the
Um,
guys in the snowmobiles, like the one guy gets like thrown between two trees or whatever. Like,
oh yeah.
gee,
And then you find out he actually did that. And you're like,
yeah,
oh shit.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that Jackie Chan. Do you see in the like Jackie Chan actually had a stunt double for the snowboarding, some of the snowboarding stuff, and because you see them actually get hurt and have to be like carted out.
hmm
Yeah, because he's not really that good of a snowboarder.
Yeah, well, clearly.
He tried to do his own stunts there, but
yeah, we'll give him a
Didn't work.
pass. We'll give him a pass on that one. Snowboarding's hard.
Yeah, I don't know how to snowboard.
and that's a pretty steep hill too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that whole section was it was almost like it was very reminiscent of didn't GoldenEye start off with like the skiers and going down slope, or is that a different James Bond movie?
it was one of the Pierce
Uh,
Brosnan ones, but it was not Goldeneye.
It
Yeah,
was
I kept thinking of
Die Another Day.
yeah, that's it. I think.
Maybe
Like,
I think.
maybe it was Tomorrow
One-
Never Dies. I don't know.
One
Yeah,
of the
it's one
Pierce
of those.
Brosnan ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I kept thinking of James Bond at those scenes, and with all the references to James Bond in the movie, I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, they were definitely going for like that kind of vibe, even though later on it felt more Mission Impossible. But whatever.
Yeah.
So those stunts on the side of the hotel, like Jackie Chan was like um on like the 12th story or whatever of this hotel, and he was
Oh,
like
that
going
hotel.
along the sides. I'm wondering if Mission Impossible 4 was maybe inspired a little bit by what he was doing, because Tom Cruise kind of does a similar thing in Dubai on the giant skyscraper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's a little bit. It's obviously much different, but I'm wondering if maybe they were inspired a little bit by this movie.
I mean, I did say before, like Jackie Chan movies inspire like so many other action movies. It's insane.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
see him do crazy stuff, and they're like, "Ooh, maybe we could do something cool like that."
Ooh, ladder fighting.
yeah.
Oh, we can't get it down right, Jackie. Get it.
Yeah, but it's funny how like this movie, like usually Jackie Chan movies or early Jackie Chan movies inspire a lot of later action movies, but this particular one it takes a lot of inspiration from other action movies,
That it did.
especially with like the the big bombastic action scenes.
Jackie Chan giveth, Jackie Chan taketh away.
Yes.
Jackie Chan will do whatever he pleases. So saith the Chan.
Also, I thought it was so funny how like when the big Russian guy showed up and he started fighting that guy, and it reminded me of a previous conversation we had in a different podcast, unrelated. How we were talking about like if Jackie Chan could fight a bear. Well,
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah.
There's Jackie
There's
Chan
your
fighting a bear.
answer. He apparently cannot. He runs from the bear like a monkey. This guy's like a monkey. You get in there.
Yeah. And it's funny too because he's actually the monkey in the Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I think he's played a lot of like Sun Goku, like the Monkey King stuff. I think too.
Yeah. He's also the Monkey King in Forbidden Kingdom. That's
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
A lot of monkey stuff.
Hey, he's a monkey.
Any other scenes you guys want to talk about?
Um, man, I was expecting Greedy Waffles to be here by now.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I'm
so
like
we were
trying to not.
starting without him. He's like, fine, they don't need me.
Yeah, I'm trying not to delve into like the rest of the scenes that I want to talk about before he shows up. But
Yeah,
I
because I
guess we
wanted
could.
to talk about like the underwater fighting,
Yeah.
which was kind of I was more funny than anything else. Like just like the slow fighting underwater. I don't know. It doesn't really work for me 100%. Like it
No,
was funny to watch, but I was like,
but
I don't know.
like you see him do these punches, and people are like, "Oh!" and it's like that punch probably felt like a tap.
Yeah,
Like,
everything's
you can't get
slow
enough.
motion.
You can't get enough power behind a punch like that.
Also, they're out here giving sharks a bad name once again. If
I
Jaws wasn't
know.
bad enough, most sharks won't attack people unless they're like bleeding and flailing around, like an injured fish. And
Yeah.
even then, like a lot of times, if a shark's not hungry, they're like, "All right, cool." So
No,
yeah,
like there's only two sharks that really freak me out. That's the bull sharks and the tiger sharks. Those are the ones you gotta look out for. Tiger
Bull
sharks, they can
sharks?
also go into lakes, like freshwater lakes. So yeah, and they're just mean. Like great whites are not that bad. They just kind of go, "Oh hey, are you food?" and they'll kind of peck at you and be like, "Oh nope, you're not." They don't go full on eating a guy and then burp up his scuba gear. The hell was that?
yeah, that's the whole underwater sequence where like the sharks are like, I like the parts where it's like, okay, Jackie Chan gets a cut on his thumb and he has to
Yeah,
like suck on it, right? I thought those were funny parts, and the other guy
yeah,
they kind of crisscross. But what wasn't funny was like the guy getting like he like shoots the harpoon gun into the thing and he gets like reeled in by the shark. It's like,
yeah,
okay, what? you know?
yeah. Well, then when you like the shark, you're like, okay, that must be a really big shark, and then it comes out and it's just a normal sized shark, and you're like, okay,
At first, I thought it was gonna be like an octopus coming out of there because
a
it
giant
yanked on like the
squid.
spear from the other
Yeah,
guy previously. The like I don't see how a shark could do that from such a tiny space. Supposedly, I
right.
don't know.
Yeah. Plus, sharks can't swim backwards, as I learned from Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
So how it was able to pull the harpoon? I don't
Oh, it
know.
was just slurping it like a spaghetti.
Okay. All right. You seen the shark lips? Sure.
Yeah.
Let me Google shark with lips.
Oh no. Actually, you'll probably just get shark dating sim or whatever. I did a video on it once forever ago on YouTube. It was pretty
Wow.
funny.
I'll have to look that up.
It's so bad. But yeah, then like he's just going around shooting all the windows. I'm like, aren't those like pressurized and bulletproof so they don't break? Like
Yeah,
that's the point of them.
you learn from like just kind of going to an aquarium. Like the glass is like, I don't know, like half a foot thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, super thick. Yep.
Even those
Yeah.
ones on the portholes would be super thick too.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I
but
do
it just kind
like
of ups the stakes a little bit.
Yeah.
It puts a little horror in there for the people who are afraid of Jaws.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's funny. You see him save those people from the shark, and then he just like abandons them there, and then runs through those jets of water from the portholes.
That scene lasted like 2 minutes of him just trying to go through those portholes.
I know.
It's like him struggling so much when he could have probably just lit under all of them.
Probably. Which that's maybe what the people did to escape. They're just like, what? Why did that guy do that way?
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes later and he's still like trying to make it through, and I'm like
But
watching.
could you please
the
get
scene is
through so
like-
we can get through? There's some sharks coming. It's for a
I thought it was
movie.
pretty
I got to
funny.
do it good. Or make it entertaining. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure the pressure was pretty high on those jet streams, but
Yeah, for sure they would
I
be.
don't know.
I was half expecting Jackie Chan to like jump across the shark's back when he saw it in the water or something. Just as like a callback to earlier when he jumps across like the floaty in the pool at the hotel.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I did like that. I like that they like it didn't go perfectly, but it got him across and they kept it in.
yeah.
Well,
I
that's the
almost
thing that I
slipped.
commend Jackie Chan for in almost all his movies is like he's a human. Like he's getting
Yeah.
hit, he's fighting and he's getting tired and he's getting hit and sometimes the stunt doesn't go exactly right, but they keep it in because yeah, it's human.
That's how it went.
That's how it
That's
goes.
how it would go.
But yeah, overall, that's the whole aquarium scene. Like, it didn't. I mean, I thought like visually everything kind of looked cool, and they did put a lot of budget and resources into that whole scene, which was fine. But yeah, like as a final action scene for this type of movie, for me it just did not fit in very well. Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool concept. I don't think I've really seen something like this before. But
Hmm.
for a finale in a Jackie Chan movie, it just didn't hit the mark for me. It felt like more of like a this is like the 3/4 of the way through fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
an end fight.
It's like the scene that leads into the final climax.
Yeah. I wanted to see him fight on the stilts a little bit more. That was funny. But
Yeah, it was
he just
good.
did like the high
Yeah, that was
kicks
great.
on the guy.
That was great.
Things happen so fast in this movie. The girl gets captured, then he kicks the guy. She's saved. Then she gets captured again. Then she's saved. Then
No, what's funny when he was on the tilt, like when he was kicking the guy up on the balcony, I did happen to see that Jackie Chan was on a wire there.
oh
Oh.
They did not do a great job editing the wire out, so I did notice it like I think twice. So one of the few times when Jackie Chan is on a wire.
Well, damn it. Now I have to give this movie a 0.
oh no! What have you done, Callus?
I was excited and happy, and now I'm not.
Yeah, but I guess we
No,
can
it's
talk
fine.
about that scene further when like the whole shootout just started.
Oh, yeah. That was
It
okay.
was
That was one that bugged me. It's like this big whole shootouts going on, everyone's screaming, running away, and then you just go like into a building. Everyone's like, "Fine," just da 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 da. You're like, I'm pretty sure they would know what was going on at this point, and I'll be
yeah, and
running as well.
to me it seemed like a giant big mess because everyone's kind of shooting each other, and then like the cops start shooting too, but it seems like they don't know who they're shooting at, and like
Yeah.
it was kind of confusing, like who's actually shooting at who's the bad guy, who's side is on who.
Yeah, at that time they still thought Jackie Chan was the killer of the father.
That scene where the one cop just comes in and goes, "It's not Jackie Chan, of course," and then just like ends.
Yeah.
I was like, "What was that?"
Yeah, the whole like Jackie Chan's the murderer thing didn't really affect the plot at all. Like it
Yeah.
did give us a nice little like scene of Jackie Chan pushing the two mall cops into the elevator, but other than that, it's like, did this really affect anything? I mean,
Nope. It did not. Um, oh, there was another scene that obviously didn't like translate over into the dubbed. It's when he's talking to the Russians, and there's clearly a interpreter right next to him, like telling him.
yeah,
Oh
And
yeah.
then like in the English, she's like, "This is an important mission." It's like
Yeah, that's right.
you see her mouth moving, so you just had to give her a line, even though clearly she's an interpreter.
yeah. It's like you've already dubbed over the Russian lines. We don't need her to like. She didn't even repeat what he said exactly either. It was
Yeah.
something different.
Well, I know I think in the dub they were just like, well, she's not an interpreter in this, so we'll just give her her own lines.
It's so funny. It's like Hollywood just wants to dumb the dumb movies down like as much as possible to where
Well,
like
we
not even
Americans
a
are
little
pretty
bit of
dumb.
yeah, like they didn't want to even include like a little bit of subtitles. Like everyone has to speak English.
Yeah, which I'm
It's kind of
glad they
ridiculous.
finally don't do anymore as much anymore.
Yeah, I'm
Like
glad
they're like,
they've
oh,
learned.
people can read. Okay, I guess we'll put some subtitles in. I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that going on in the 90s.
Yep, there was for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad nowadays I like it's those films like Parasite or Pan's Labyrinth and stuff like that, where it's like I'm like, look, I mean, if the original actors are doing a great job, I don't want to have someone voicing over their character and pretending to have the emotions that they're trying to convey in the movie. You know,
Right?
it never sounds right.
It doesn't. Never sounds right.
But another quick thing I want to talk about is especially like in the first quarter of the movie, how they kept putting Jackie Chan to do, oh, you got to do this for us, and and then he gets involved more, and oh, you got to do this, that for us, and please, you got to do this. It's like, is he really the only person qualified to do all of these different things?
Right?
Like they could, which yeah, I guess like the Russian mafia or whatever, like they wanted to manipulate him into doing whatever. So sure, but like every other organization, they couldn't just have gotten any other agent to do the job.
He's a super cop, okay?
Hey, which other agent has such a great ass?
That's right, we got to see it
Oh.
again.
All right, so let's rate that ass.
That's definitely Hong Kong's ass.
Yeah, Greedy isn't here, so I thought I might as well bring up like Jackie Chan had that was a really funny scene when the guy forces Jackie Chan to take off all his clothes and the people walk by and the old lady is like what did she say? I don't even remember what she said, but it was just some funny stupid line. And then the dogs walk by and like it's like okay.
What are you doing?
The dub at that point was
Which
just
is
kind of
so
funny too.
I guess those they actually got like Australians who speak Chinese for the original one. Were they all speaking Chinese? What's like why?
Oh, really?
I don't know. No, I don't know. But it's just like
Oh, okay.
if she's Australian, why did you dub her? She should have been speaking English.
Yeah, if they weren't dubbed, like they got some really poor actors in here. If they were dubbed,
yeah.
I mean, I guess I could let it slide, but I honestly don't think that a lot of these characters were dubbed. I think they just had some, I don't know, less capable actors and actresses in this one.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just hoping that eventually there will be an actual authentic dub version released sometime in the future.
Yeah,
That'd
we'll
be
have to
nice.
wait and see on that one. Well, we just got 1 and 2 re-released, so maybe down the road we'll get
I thought
3,
someone
4.
said
hope.
I saw someone said 3 had already been announced that's being re-released last time.
Yeah, I did notice that 3 is coming out in December.
Oh, perfect.
A Blu-ray of it, though kind of expensive.
Oh, well.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah, if it's Criterion, they jack up the prices on that stuff. But they always come with like cool stuff and bonus features. So
they always put a lot of care into stuff.
I feel like we're missing a scene here. It's too bad Greedy isn't here. He'd probably know.
Let's see. Let me look at my notes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. We did kind of like go through some of the scenes like very quickly.
Yep. So far, we've hit all my points.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we've hit all my points. So.
Wow.
So I guess the one thing that I could bring up is the story in this one didn't seem as tight knit as the other ones. There was a lot of like, I don't know, the whole double triple crossing was kind of getting confusing towards the middle.
Yeah.
Like it's right around that point when everyone was like blaming Jackie Chan for the murder, right? And I was like, I'm kind of getting lost in this. Like, who's good, who's bad? Like, it maybe it was intentional. I don't know. It just didn't work out didn't work out great for me.
Yeah.
Definitely seemed to me like it was intentional. Like they made out what's this guy's name? The brother?
Chow, something like that.
Chow. I don't know. Let's call him Chow for now. But yeah, they definitely set him up to make everyone think that he is the bad guy first, and then kind of halfway through, I was like, oh no, actually, I'm double agent, blah blah, blah, or I've been forced to be.
I'm a double agent.
Yes, a triple agent.
Here's a question: what happened to his girlfriend?
Oh, they finally broke up. Thank God.
No, not Jackie Chan's girlfriend.
Oh, you're talking about like
yeah,
Sui, his name
The
Sui.
brother's girlfriend. I think she
No,
had
the
like
brother's
Natasha or something
Natasha.
like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Natasha.
They showed
She's.
her like getting captured by the Russian mafia. Then I don't think they showed her again.
I don't think it was
I
the
guess
Russian
it's
mafia. I
just
think it was the police, the
the
Ukraine police.
Ukrainian
Yeah.
police.
Because she had like the money strapped to her or something like that.
Well, at one point she did. Yeah.
But yeah, it was she,
I
she
don't
was
know.
just she was gone from the movie for the rest of the time. I'm like, what happened to her? Like,
They did like this, especially like in the beginning. They moved through like so many different things and so many different characters very quickly. To it was like pretty hard for me to keep up.
yeah, like the CIA guy who like knew the
Oh,
brother.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Like he gets hit. He doesn't die. He just gets hit off the snowmobile and he's gone for the rest of the movie. Like,
Yeah. Who knows what happened to him?
So, would you
Only
say like
Chan knows.
only Chan knows? Like we talked about, the third one was kind of discombobulated with the story. Like, do you think this one was more so, or about the same, or less?
I would say it's a little bit better because it will like you could still kind of follow it, but there were times when you kind of got lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? I think it was way more like I would say Police Story 3 like didn't have a coherent plot almost at all. At least this one you could kind of follow along, especially towards the end. But like there's that middle and first section where it's like, okay, not sure where this is going. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be understanding where this is going because I just can't understand some of these plot lines here.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah. I might have
Like I
thought
was,
Free's story wasn't too hard to follow, but it was a little discombobulated. Sure.
yeah, it was just all over the place. With this one, it was more coherent, but at the same time, there's like there are certain plot points that just move through so quickly that it's just hard to keep track of like all the different characters. But it is mostly it is like I was able to follow a lot better.
Super Cop walked so that First Strike could run.
Yeah. That's one way of putting it. Sure.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't. Maybe we should have waited a little bit longer for Greedy, but I mean, he's just MIA right now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think when you said we'll start, you can just join us later. He probably just went, if they're just starting, they don't need me.
That's not true. We need Greedy.
We
If he's
do need
listening to this,
Greedy.
we need you.
We do.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to show up at this point.
No.
He'll show up like at the end when we're all leaving. Like, all right.
And the outro.
Wait, oh well.
He'll come in to say wipe your ass and then leave.
Oh, don't worry, I got that covered.
All right, let's all. I guess we'll just go through and rank the Police Story movies, I suppose.
Ranking time. All right.
So I guess we'll all say our least favorite first and go to our favorite. So Callus, do you want to start us off with your least favorite to favorite?
Least favorite, sure. I'm gonna have to put Super Cop at the bottom of the rankings just because, as we talked about, it's a very discombobulated movie, and action scenes, even though bigger budget, it does not, equal more entertainment, unfortunately, for that movie. So yeah, Super Cop at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all in agreement with that one.
Yep.
Still a fun movie, but I forget how I said it last time, but it's just a bunch of like action schlock, I guess. I don't know.
Schlock, okay.
I believe is maybe the word you used.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And just thinking back at just the jungle scene thrown in the middle is just like just seemingly out of a completely different movie.
Yeah, it was visual garbage. I guess you'd say. I don't know. All right. What would everyone's one after 3 be? I think that was a pretty easy guess on that one.
Mm.
Are we doing this in order still, or?
Yeah, worst to best.
So yeah, the third one. I mean, that would be First Strike, right?
No, you mean the fourth one?
Well, the third movie in the list of like.
Oh,
ranking.
okay. Third.
In
yeah.
our,
Okay.
In our
I was
rankings
confused.
of police stories.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think First Strike is right above Super Cop. In my mind, there's like a big gap between the two. I know you guys were a little bit more generous on your ratings last
Yeah,
time, but
for me they're pretty close.
yeah, for me, there's a pretty sizable gap between Super Cop and First Strike.
Mm.
That's fair. I mean, I think we're all just going to be the same order.
Pretty much, yeah.
Probably.
3,
Let's
4.
all say it together. Police Story 2 is the
Two.
second,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Police Story 1 is the
It's
first.
the first. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like they like sharp like I would say only Police Story 3 was a sharp decline in quality for me personally. The other ones were just kind of like, they're not as good. They're just good. They're not brilliant like I thought that Police Story 1 was.
So here's my problem, though. Police Story 1 was definitely the best, but at the same time, it probably had the worst ending.
Well,
Like,
just
just
'cause
that it was
so,
just that abrupt ending of,
abrupt,
and
yeah.
it's over. You're like, oh, okay, we're done.
Yeah, at least you can explain that away with how you guys did it during the first episode we talked about it, where it's like, oh, but it leads into the second one like right away.
But did they know there was going to be a second one at that
Probably,
time?
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
They definitely left it open for a sequel.
Definitely. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
mean, yeah.
yeah, I think that's like I figured that was going to be the order everyone went with.
Yeah, I was close to putting First Strike above 2, but then I was like, no, but the ending with the bomb collar is like so intense and good, and yeah,
And the whole fight in the warehouse with the
right.
fireworks.
With the deaf guy.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, for First Strike, like there was no final big fight. There was just we didn't even talk about the final stunt with a car going up the ramp and into the boat.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty cool.
Like
Like, I
Yeah,
don't
that was-
like it. Totally wouldn't have made it because like you see from one angle where it's like, oh, yep, he's not making it, and then he does. You're like, oh, okay, fine.
yeah, that was kind of like the big ending stunt, but it didn't feel like the big ending stunt. It felt
No,
like
it
he
definitely
was gonna
wasn't.
he was gonna
right.
get on the boat and then something else was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I thought it was going to be more. It seemed kind of odd, especially after that whole aquarium scene.
Fighting
For
the
that.
submarine. Now, how cool
Yeah.
would that have been? Him fighting through a submarine, like. uh,
Also, I wanted to ask, was this the first? Because I know I've seen a few movies of like the cars going up and then ramp and into a boat, but was this the first movie to do that?
Mm.
You're gonna have to give me an example of another movie with a car going into a boat.
I think James Bond may have done
Didn't
it at some
didn't
point.
maybe James Bond, and also what's the guy's name? Bad Boys. Wasn't that a scene in Bad Boys also? Bad Boys
Oh.
2, maybe.
I never saw Bad Boys, so I
I
don't
never
know.
saw that either.
Okay. I'm
we'll,
pretty
we'll
sure
just say
there's
yes. This is the first car into a boat scene.
I know for a fact there are several movies that do this, and I know it's also
I
there's
feel like I feel like it's a trope from the '70s, actually.
Oh, okay. So
Like,
probably
I
not
don't
the
know
first
if it
one.
is, but it just feels like something I've seen in like a '70s movie.
I'm gonna do some.
James Bond, probably.
I'm gonna do some quick research. So quickly talk about a different topic.
Well, I thought we were ready to go into like ratings and final review here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to hold off so if
Oh.
Grady pops in.
Too Fast, Too Furious. That happens. Live. Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, I guess we can wrap it up.
Yeah, because there's really nothing else I really want to say. I mean, I felt like this movie was more in line with like this tone and the style of the first two movies. Well, maybe the more like the first movie with the little comedy bits in there, the action, the actual martial arts. It was like a combination of like Police Story, Super Cop, and like Police Story 1, I felt. Because Police Story 2 is definitely more serious and like there's a
Yeah.
lot more intensity with that one. Whereas Police Story 1 was much more, kind of whimsical, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And then Super Cop was much more action. So I felt like this was a good combination of the two.
Yeah. That's a good point.
it also was kind of Hollywoodized. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
It
the
was
main
very
bad guy
much,
is Russia. You know, like
yeah, very much very Hollywoodized because this is it's like the at a time when Jackie Chan movies were just like hardcore trying to be marketed in the U.S. So yeah, a lot of his movies at this point in his life were like very Hollywoodized.
all right. Well, anything else you guys want to mention?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're ready to wrap up.
All right, Callus, go ahead and start us off with your final review and rating.
Sure. All right. Well, Jackie Chan's First Strike. It is a pretty fun movie. Compared to like the rest of the police story, it kind of falls short of expectations towards what I wanted. I definitely wanted a lot more fight scenes like what we got in the church. That seeing him Jackie Chan fight, that's his strong suit. That's what he needs to do a lot more of. But for this kind of movie where they wanted to be more more James Bond like and more action focused, I guess there was less of that. Which, yeah, the action scenes were also entertaining, kind of fun to watch, but not as entertaining as of what it would have been, if they had just more focused on Jackie Chan action, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall though, I would probably give this movie a 3 out of 5.
Oh, the same as Super Cop, huh?
I gave Super Cup a 3.5 actually.
Oh. So your ranking was wrong then.
Wow, I just noticed that. Yeah. You know what? You're right. I have to give this a 3.5 then. I'll give them both the same rating.
All right, all right. Well, I had a very simple review for this one, which was everything that Super Cop did. First Strike did better. I found that this one had better action, it had a better story ish. Even though the acting wasn't like as great as usual, Jackie Chan still gave a great performance, and a lot of the stunt choreography and people like doing the stunt choreography was also still really well done. Yeah, I would have liked to see more like scenes like the church. Like I would have liked to see a more bombastic ending. But what we got was pretty good, and I enjoyed it, and I felt like it was more akin to like the police story of yesteryear with police. Like it kind of felt like a good combination between the first movie and Super Cop. Like it kept like some of the more like highbrow kind of action, but it still had like a martial arts core to it at times, and like even though it didn't seem like a cop like a police story kind of movie, it still had like that same kind of charm to it, and I like that a lot. And yeah, I thought it was kind of on the same level as like Police Story 2, which I think I gave a 4. So I'd probably give this one a 4 as well. I thought it was fun, but on a different like it's not the same as like a Police Story 2 because that one was much more intense. But I thought it was better than Super Cop, obviously, and I thought it was a nice homage to the original movie.
Okay.
Cool.
For me, I don't remember what I rated the other movies. Each movie is a new experience, so my ratings, it doesn't matter if they're different.
I could tell you what they
Namaste.
are.
Yeah, they are what they are. Um, but overall, I kind of agree with you guys. It's not Police Story 1 or 2. And it definitely doesn't feel like it's actually part of the like it feels like it's just a standalone Jackie Chan movie. And by Jackie Chan movie, I mean an Americanized Jackie Chan movie where like no one wants to see your kung fu. They want to see us shoot guns and explosions. It's like America in the '90s. What were you thinking? Anyway, um, overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. It was a good movie. Fun. But yeah, definitely just did not feel connected in any way. And it didn't bring the same, like it didn't feel like a kung fu movie or anything. It was just an action movie. And since Jackie Chan, you expect some kung fu, which like I said, we did get a little bit with that ladder scene and everything, the church scene. But yeah, overall, oh, actually, I want to point out I didn't notice at least I didn't feel like they were just throwing in random popular songs, which was nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good plus.
But yeah, overall, I'll give it a 3.5 as well.
Okay.
So you have given the past 3 movies a 3.5.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, each one's a different experience.
Or are they? Since they're all the same rating.
Nope, they're not the same. That was the point.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we don't have Greedy's rating or review. So
Guess
he'll
we'll
just
hear
have
about it
to,
in the next episode.
yeah, we'll have to mention it in the next episode. And the next episode, the movie has been chosen, and it is How to Train Your Dragon from 2010. From 2010, and this was chosen by Coco, and she will be on the podcast next episode. So in 2 weeks, we'll talk
Wait,
to.
you said it was Coco?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, Coco. She will be on next episode. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So this is
The
from
return.
2010, directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBois. Wait, DeBlois? DeBois? um,
I think the first way is more correct. I don't know if it is correct, but probably more correct.
I'll go with you since you were better at pronouncing the Chinese or Mandarin version of a Police Story. So Dean Dubois, as the son of a Viking leader on the cusp of manhood, Shy Hiccup Horendos Haddock III faces a rite of passage. He must kill a dragon to prove his warrior mettle. But after donning a feared dragon, he realizes that he no longer wants to destroy it and instead befriends the beast, which he names Toothless, much to the chagrin of his warrior father. I've never seen this one. I think this one came
Oh,
out a
really?
little bit after my childhood heyday. I think by the time 2010 came around, I was in high school, so it wasn't really my
Mm,
demographic, I guess.
I see.
You were too cool.
Yeah, it was too cool. I was watching movies like Shrek the Third, you know.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, we're going to talk about How to Train Your Dragon in the next episode, which is going to be in 2 weeks. Like I said, Coco. Yes, Coco's making a grand return for the second time now,
Yeah.
so that'll be fun. Okay.
Cool.
I think that's it. Is there anything that you guys want to say before we end the show?
You know we do.
Be sure to clean your ass.
Clean your ass.
All right. Well, I am Superintendent the Ferret, and I've been here with.
Leader of the Golden Dragon Tay.
And Secret Agent Callus.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.